Hey guys, what's up in this video on about the final leaks and rumors about the Apple's iPad Air 2, which will be the successor to the iPad Air. So I'll be covering up everything so far, everything that has been leaked online. So starting off from the design. So last year the iPad Air amazed us with its slim profile and its weight of just 1 pound, roughly 469 grams, made it the lightest full-size tablet at that time of its release. But Apple is not going to stop here. It seems the rumor has it that the iPad Air 2 will be even thinner and lighter. That's not too hard to believe with all the leaked iPad Air 2 dummies that has been leaked previously and stacked up against the current iPad Air model. The exact weight and thickness figures are not yet known, but if Apple wants to dethrone the current leader in the field, the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet, it will have to deliver a slate thinner than the 0.25 inches, 6.4 millimeter, or lighter than 15.03 ounces, which is 426 grams. So judging by the said leaked photos, we can also assume that the iPad Air 2 will have an aluminum made back, just like the every other iPad before it. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, it is great to know that the next gen iPad will adopt the premium zero compromise build quality of its predecessors. Still, we're expecting to see a few design tweaks here and there. First of all, it appears the hardware mute switch is going to be dropped, presumably in favor of software one. On one hand, this should make an iPad Air 2 cheaper to build, and there will be one less thing on it that could possibly break. But on the other hand, folks used to having the said switch are likely not going to be happy about its removal, although the grills for the stereo speakers at the tablet's bottom are to be given a cosmetic redesign, and the hardware volume buttons are made to be made flush with the tablet's side. And one more thing we have to mention is that the iPad Air 2 is expected to get Touch ID, a fingerprint sensor built into its home button, just like the iPhone 5s. So it will be easier for authorized purchases, all this kind of stuff. You won't have to enter passwords. But with iOS 8, which is definitely going to be running on the next iPad, Apple is extending the Touch ID's functionality further by allowing third-party apps to access it. This will allow fingerprints-based authorization to be implemented into the apps as an alternative to the now standard username and password. So now I want to talk about the display. So we have no reason to believe that Apple would alter the size of its proportion of its tablet display. In other words, we're expecting to see a 9.7-inch LCD display with a 4:3 aspect and on the front of the iPad Air 2. As for its resolution, we have no idea whether we'll see a boost or not, and the rumor is still nothing saying on that. But still, it seems that the iPad's pixel count will remain at 1536 by 2048 for a pixel density of 264 ppi. With the rumors around the iPhone 6 and its sapphire display, one might assume the iPad Air 2 would have its screen treated to the same scratch-resistant material. However, no rumors or leaks indicates that the Apple is considering a sapphire glass screen for its tablets. That's why we're assuming that the next iPad will have its display protected by a scratch-resistant glass piece identical to the one on the current model. Now I want to talk about the hardware specs. So it doesn't look a rocket scientist to predict the Apple's iPad Air 2 will bring some serious upgrade under the hood. So most importantly, the tablet will be powered by an Apple-designed 20nm A8 system on a chip, or at least that's what the rumors claim. The silicon is expected to be a 64-bit variety, just like the A7 found on the iPhone 5s and the iPad Air 1. And what's more likely to raise an eyebrow, however, is the CPU on the SoC might reach the speed up to 2.6 GHz. We also heard rumors of a 2.0 GHz top clock speed for the A8 on the iPhone 6, which is more likely to a figure of 2. So we can guess that the A8 in the iPhone 6 will be maxed out at 2.0 GHz, while the Air 2 could offer the higher clock frequency. On related note, the A7 has its limit set to 1.3 GHz on the iPhone 5s and 1.4 GHz on the iPad Air. As for the iPad Air 2, its storage capacity, we're expecting to have 4 options to pick from: 16, 32, 64, and 128 GB. The storage expansion via any kind of memory card will be, as always, out of the question. In terms of the software, so I already mentioned that the iPad Air 2 should ship with the iOS 8 right out of the box. The update brings a ton of improvements, ton of new features, such as the upgraded Spotlight search, more function notification, on-screen keyboard with word predictions, support for the third-party widgets and keyboards, a superior messaging experience with a whole lot more. Feel free to check out the iOS 8 preview from the link down in the description. So in addition to all of this, the iPad Air 2 is expected to get a split screen feature. This would give users the option to run multiple apps simultaneously side by side. And Apple has not confirmed this split screen functionality in iOS 8, but bits of code found in the system's beta version suggest that if such a feature is indeed being developed, in fact, this is actually leaked by some confirmed source. So now I want to talk about the price and release date. So Apple has always priced its 9.7-inch iPad model at $500 for the base model with 16 GB of storage and Wi-Fi only internet connectivity. We doubt that the iPad Air 2 would be an exception. So if you want one, you'll have to set at least $500 aside. The 32 and 64 and 128 GB Wi-Fi only model are the most likely to be going to be priced between $600, $700 and $800 respectively. If you want cellular connectivity as well, that will probably cost you an extra $130. For my guess is that the iPad Air 2 will be announced this fall, probably in October, just like the case was with the iPad Air and the 4th gen of the iPad with the iPad 4th generation. And then really soon after that, the new iPad model should be released in the US, so we'll be likely to seeing a launch date during the first week of November. So that was my full review of the final leaks and rumors about the Apple iPad Air 2. You can call it a rumor roundup, but still it was my full leaks coverage, and because I haven't made a single video about the iPad Air 2 leaks, so I decided to make it for you. Design, specs, price, and release date. So if you have any questions, you can comment down below, and do like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.